Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the first official Social Media What Blab. This is a continuation of the session we had down in Texas for ACCT, down in the Austin area. We had an hour and a half to teach everybody everything there possibly is to know that doesn't know anything about social media, and to think that we could do that in an hour and a half is just plain old silly. So I offered to throw this blab up here so that we can continue that conversation. I'm anticipating that this will be a short blab today, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but I'm willing to go as long as we have questions here, up to a half hour. And to continue that conversation, the other thing I'd like to know is if this is valuable for people. One of the pieces of feedback I got from the evaluations was that little upset that we didn't have time to say, okay, this is how you set up a Facebook page. This is how you set up a Google page or a Pinterest page. So that could be the topic for a future blab. So I'm here kind of as a fact-finding mission also to see what is it that you guys would like to have us meet maybe once a week, every other week, and chat about. So in order for that to happen, there needs to be a little bit of interactiveness, which I've already got some people doing in the chat. So make sure you are interacting with me, at least in the chat. The seat is open. Hey, Lauren, glad you made it. The seat is open. If you have here's what you need in order to take that seat. Where it says open seat up there is you just click on it. And as long as you have some type of webcam, or most importantly, a microphone. I don't mind if you come on without a webcam and you just want to chat. That is fine. General rules of Blab are that is if you just have an egg as your profile pic, no one's going to let you on. I make an exception to that because if I recognize your name and I know you, I know that for some people it's a struggle just to get the Twitter account right now and to be able to find your way over here. So if I know who you are and you don't have a profile set up, that's fine. I'll let you on. Just know that other people on Blab, if you start exploring, probably will not. So somebody give me a question here of something that you would like to know a little bit more about. So we can even start with just throw me a question or throw in the comments, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. What is it that you guys want to know more about from a starting level on social media? Let's start there. What kind of questions you guys have for me? Okay, and I'll let you guys type those because I know that myself, when I'm on a blab and somebody throws a question out there and I'm trying to type in the comments, it takes me a little bit longer to find all the right keys. So, Lauren, you just joined us. Let's see here. All right, good. And still have 3 people watching from online. All right. Make sure to also tell your friends, hit that tweet button, hit that post to Facebook button. More people we have in the room, the more fun we tend to have on these things. So, seat is open if anybody would like to take it. You do not have to be my quote-unquote co-host. You can jump in and just ask a question. Or ask a question over in the chat there. You don't even need that /Q. You can just type it. I'm watching it right now. So I'm going to throw, while you guys are typing that, I'm going to throw a resource for people over here. Copy and paste this here. Make sure I got the right link. Oops, no, don't do that. So what I'm going to copy and paste over here, if you have not checked it out yet, a resource that where I've thrown a lot of the different things that I've learned from social media marketing, I have over on my Pinterest account, and I just have rearranged the board to put most of the social media platforms up towards the top of that blab, so the top of that Pinterest account. So if you go to that link I just sent you, the first thing you're going to see is my social media marketing board on Blab, because that's where I'm trying to get the most new stuff on. And then Facebook, of course, I got to keep my geek board up there. And then I've tried to keep the other, any board that's labeled with SMM in the front is a great resource for social media marketing. The other thing I do on Pinterest is if you're looking at a pin on one of my boards, you will notice that a lot of them have I'm going to type it right here, a -X at the end of that. What that communicates is I have clicked through that pin at some point before I pinned it, and I went through to make sure that pin says what it says it's going to take you to. There are a lot of people on Pinterest that will just put a pin up and they're just repinning it. And they don't actually, and I'm guilty of this too, and they don't actually go through, click through the pin to see if it takes you anywhere valuable. A lot of times I'll do that if it is a great infographic and I don't have time to search or I'm tired or whatever, I'll just put it up there. But on those ones that I take the time to go and read the article and see what it's all about, I will definitely put that -X on it. Also, based on what you guys want to learn more about, I will do more research and put it on those boards because I know some things like my Pinterest and my Google Plus boards there are getting a little stale, but I haven't had a lot of questions lately on those, so I haven't been pinning to those too actively. So, all right, that's me talking for about 10 minutes. So welcome to Blab. And again, throw in the comment just something a question that you have. You do not have to come on screen, but again, I welcome you to jump on screen. It's a great way to dip your toe in the water on this platform, see what it's all about. I'm going to have a sip of coffee here. Okay, microphone's back on. So I'm going to give us about 5 more minutes here. Oh, okay, I just opened a Pinterest account from your invitation. I have to build a board for Raven's Rim Zip. Where should I start? Awesome question. Okay, so I'm going to put this, anytime somebody gives a great idea for a future, I'm going to make a quick starting, give me 1 second, a Pinterest board. Okay. So that's a note to me that we could probably do a whole blab for it. But let me give you a quick, so where should you begin? Yes, you are welcome for the invite. Thanks for joining. And also I can open up that board. So hey, Frank, thanks for joining us. Continuing on from our social media, at the conference. This question just came up is having a Raven's Rim zip line. Where should they start on Pinterest? So the first thing I would do is make sure that you create a profile. So when you log in with your account, over on the right-hand side, there's some settings over there. And then you're going to go to, and I'm doing this live right now, but I can do this as a complete, put in another window in a future blab. And in those settings, there should be a place that you can choose that this is a business account. So that would be one of the first things I would do, is make sure it's a business account versus a personal account. There are some other things that and Pinterest does a good job of saying, all right, you've done that, now do this next, now do that next. So follow all that, link your Twitter account, your Facebook account. Little warning up front, I'm not a fan, and I mentioned this last week, of pushing one platform to another. I would not announce on Twitter that you just pinned to a Pinterest board. What you can do, though, is let people know on Twitter that you do have a Pinterest account. And I would say something like once a month, and just make a quick tweet to say, hey, join us over on our Pinterest board. So then what I would start doing is I would start curating content. The way I would do that is there's 2 ways. One off the top of my head is I would just start building boards. So what I did on Pinterest to start is I just started looking for things I was interested in. So for example, if you're over on my board, you can see that one of my boards is a geek board. So I'm going to start with that. And as I mentioned, always start as a user. So I'm going to backtrack, Matthew. If you haven't been on Pinterest at all yet, don't make it the business account. Start using it first. Okay. So when I go over, and so I just do a search for, you know what? There's a lot of stuff going on with Doctor Who, so I'm just going to do a search for Doctor Who. I'm going to look over there. Uh-oh, I'm frozen. I'm doing too much. Did I freeze on you guys, or am I back? Give me some props. Click my picture here if you can hear me. Otherwise, I'm going to be concerned. And I'll have to make Frank the co-host. All right. Type a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, it's choppy. All right, let me do this. I've got too much stuff open over here. Let me close some of this stuff down, and hopefully that'll help. So what I was saying is I just do a search for Doctor Who in the, let me see if there's anything else I can close on my computer. Voice is clear, great. So I'm going to keep on talking as I close things off on my computer here. So I do a search for Doctor Who. I click on one of those pins, and it's going to ask me if I want to pin it. Just hit the pin it button, and it's going to ask me to create a board. And then I would say just start with that, but instead of Doctor Who, start looking for zip lines. Look for, Matthew, where are you guys located? So in the state or in the region that you're located, go ahead and do that as a search. Okay, yeah, in Utah. So you could do a search for, and this is another way just to see what competition might be doing. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to search in Pinterest for zipline Utah. Okay, and let's see what comes up here. Zipline Utah. Okay. And so now, right. But what I'm saying is one of the things is that I start general with my searches and then I go more specific. So one of the things that I just found is if you search Zipline Utah, and I'll add Moab in just a second. I see a lot of pins that are your guide to, including one that I'm going to bring up here, and I'm going to throw in. I'm going to paste it over here, so you can see what I'm looking at. Nope. I'm going to have to click through here. So I found a great pin that takes me to a site, and the name of the pin is "Go Ahead, Make My Day at Moab, Utah." And that goes to note to Ed's mention of that. Okay, I'll get to that note real quick. Let me finish one thought again. But that pin winds up sending me to that link. Now, the reason I bring this up is what this gives me an idea for is you could have a board of things to do in Moab, right? And that way, when people come to visit you, and Alexis did this for ACCT, where she had a board that she created for the conference of places to go and see live music, places to sites tour. So you could do the same thing from that whole content marketing side of things, is you could create a board of all the great other things that aren't like a zip line that other people can be doing while they're there. All right. Will Johnson, give me a hug, man. I'm going to make sure. Yep, that's you. Okay, I got scared that maybe it was another Will Johnson. Hey, Will, you can give me a virtual hug, and I give you a virtual hug back. Thank you for the prop. That's like a hug. So that's some of the things that I would say. Hey, Alexis, I was just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning. We're talking about Pinterest and how you created that Austin board. And if you would be willing, Alexis, can you throw the link to that Austin board you made? Because again, I think for like a canopy tour operator to have a board of things to do in your area, I think helps out, because then as people are planning vacations, they see you as not only the place to go, but other things they can do around your vacation. So I want to read what Lauren has here. As a note to Ed's mention of advertising one social media site, another, don't stretch her sources across too many social media sites. They should not have the same information, should not target the same audiences. It's better to learn and use one platform real well. Okay, so here's what we do on Blab is you go over to Lauren's comment there and you highlight the star and you click it. She's not on the screen, so we can't give her props. So that's one way that we can let people know as we're chatting here that somebody has given us valuable information. So thanks, Lauren. I could not agree more. And I'm guilty of it. I try and mix up the message, and it's one of my New Year's resolutions is even advertising this Blab, even though I use the same graphic on each platform, I still tried to mix it up. I still tried to make it match each platform's dimensions. Use a great tool called Canva. I'm going to put that in the comments here. And one of the things they have for the paid service, which is only like, if you do the whole year, it's $10 a month, and the amount of time it saves is miraculous, is you can do a magic resize and send it out. But going back to Lauren's point there, one of the things that I've always felt when I see people push their Twitter feed to Facebook is my gut reaction is if I wanted to be on Twitter, I'd be over there. I'm on Facebook. So that's one of the things that happens is there's a culture on each of these networks. And you need to understand what the culture is. And again, going back to my number one recommendation is start on an outlet. If it fits for your business, start on the outlet that you are familiar with to really market your business, to market your course or your tour. because you're already familiar with it. Okay, thanks for commenting on my Facebook question about QR codes and Instagram. Could you give a few of the best ways to use QR codes on your courses? I am going to answer that. So one of the things that Blab is dangerous, especially when I don't have a co-host. Frank, feel free to jump in and keep me on task, or Alexis, whoever wants to. All right, Alexis, you're jumping in. Great. And I will make you a co-host also here. Let me do that quick. Nope, I unfollowed you. I want to follow you. Co-host. No. Make this person a co-host. There we go. All right. All right, Alexis, come on in here. I don't see you. All right. You might have to refresh and try again, or I might have to refresh. So anyways, QR codes. I want to make sure that I answered the other questions. Sorry, Alexis, try again. Do a refresh and try again. So, Will, you're going to jump in here? All right. So I want to answer the question on QR codes, and I'm starting to think this is me, not you guys. Maybe my internet connection is slow here. Can you guys see Will yet? Somebody give me a 1 in the comments if you can see Will, or give him some props. No, you can't. All right. So if you are trying to connect and you're on a cell phone or a 3G, 4G network, sometimes that doesn't work very well on Blab, and my feed is still choppy too. All right. So tell you what, Matthew, is the audio still good? No, I'm frozen. Okay, audio's still good. Hey, I'll let anyone in that can get in here. Alexis, I see you. Can I hear you?
Yes. Sorry, I was also doing too many things.
No, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I can hear you.
I was doing way too
many
things on my computer.
Okay. William, I'm kicking you off to let you come back in here. Not kicking you out of the Blab. Just go ahead and try and come back in.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? Are you recovered yet?
As you can hear from my voice, not completely.
It's okay. Me neither.
I tried to make sure not to talk for 2 days to be ready, which is quite a task for me.
Well, I just got home yesterday, so.
Wow. Oh, you guys extended your vacation, or were you still working?
Well, my friend lives in San Antonio, so I just went and hung out with her, and one of my flights got delayed, so darn, had to hang out with a friend more. Shucks. Yep. It was very sad.
Cool. Excellent. So, Jeremy, William, I'm going to tell you one other thing, and we can play with this a little bit later. The other thing, the first thing that happens when people jump on Blab is you have to make sure that your camera settings are set. So you have to go, if you're in Chrome, for example, you go to settings and make sure that you've chosen the camera and you've chosen the microphone. Usually it's a one-time thing. And after the Blab, I can work with you a little bit on that, and we can set that up. Refreshing. And the only other thing is Blab was made for Chrome, so Chrome tends to work the best for everyone. Today I'm using Opera because the unspoken thing, or the thing a lot of people have chatted about, is Opera seems to give a good picture and good audio, but as I'm finding, maybe that isn't the case today.
Yeah, your video is real choppy.
Really bad. As long as the audio is there today.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing I care about. So
I see Lauren already gave you props for that. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so QR codes. Facebook question about QR codes and Instagram. Could you give a few of the best ways to use your QR codes on your course?
Ed, can you put that topic over in the question area?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that question. I can't put it up there if people don't use the /Q. So I'm going to retype it here with /Q, paste it, and then I can throw it over here in the.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you need to, in order for us to. So no, this was not my question.
You're asking your own questions.
This is Jeremy's. So here are the ways that I think it works best is to have the QR codes where you have them set around your course. So if you're in a traditional, William, we're going to get you in. We're going to get you in here. if you put it up at your course, if you have a traditional course where maybe you're not encouraging people to have cell phones, still not working, William. I put them up around where we eat lunch with the auto tweet command on it. So that way they scan the QR code and they tweet and they can say, you can, it says something like having a wonderful day at Northbrook Park District today, on the challenge course. And I have all my hashtags in there. But then what can happen is they can still add their photo or anything else. And then if you have, again, depending on what your tours policy with cell phones, and after looking on YouTube, I see that cell phones are abound everywhere. I would put those QR codes like in the wherever people are waiting in the queue to go off a platform. So if they've just walked up the first the stairs to the first platform, there could be a QR code right there as they've got 4 or 5 people in front of them, and you could make that QR code something along the lines of excited to start the day at Moab zip lines, whatever it is. And I'm going to put 2 resources in there. I'm going to come on over here. Now, I'm going to throw that over to you, Alexis. Have you seen any creative ways that tours or courses have been using QR codes yet? I don't have audio for you. 1 second. That is universal. Yes, better. That is universal language for I muted my microphone while I was changing it. And give me 1 second to figure it out before I freak out.
Yes, and Moab Zipline, they said that I was echoing, and I hope this is better. Let me know in the comments if it is.
Yeah, so, no echo here.
Okay, well, Moab, let me know if it isn't. So I've seen it, like you were saying, at like the gathering areas, and I've also seen it where it's they're using the QR code so that it'll send you to very echoing. Sorry, Moab. I don't know what to do about that.
Not hearing at my end, Moab. What I would suggest is doing a quick refresh on your end. Sometimes that will help it also.
Okay. Thanks, Moab. And put your name in the comments too.
It's Matthew.
So Oh, Matthew. Thanks, Matthew. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So I've seen it at the gathering areas, especially on the challenge courses, because a lot of challenge courses don't want to have the distraction from the group for having with the problem of having cell phones. So at the gathering areas, where everybody has a little downtime to rest their brains, that's where they're putting the QR codes. And most of the time, the QR codes are sending them to either their Facebook page so that they can post a picture or post a, yay, I had fun, or they're sending them to registration or their main website. The other thing that I've seen is just putting hashtags on like on little slips of paper laminated and putting them up in various places throughout the park so that people can then keep in mind what hashtag they want to use when they're going to post. So especially at the end of a line, you can put hashtag Moab Zipline or whatever your hashtag is for the summer, or whatever you want to be following and generating a lot of hashtag hits for. Those are the things that I've really seen out on the parks.
Yeah, and one of the things with it is we have to remember that we want to capture, if we go back to the marketing side of things, we want to make sure that we're capturing that experience and it's coming back to our facility. So we talked a little bit about pros and cons of custom hashtags, and sometimes they can work well. But I would also include, if you're going to do a QR code to tweet, some type of a mention for yourself in there. So again, if looking back at the QR to tweet I had in my presentation, one of the things going back is I think that I had in there having a great time learning about social media with experiential ed. So that way,
Mm-hmm. Then
then
you're tagged
causes
too.
people that, yeah, I'm tagged in the tweet, and then anybody that sees that, that's connected with, that follows anybody that just did that tweet, then click through to my profile and see what's going on. Whereas, okay, who's this experiential ed guy versus if you were mentioning your zipline handle in there, people are going to see your profile, which should send them back to your website, which is another thing that we did not talk about, and I'm more than happy to schedule a blab around, is a lot of this content marketing and social media marketing should be going back to your website in some fashion to get people there, and that goes back to the whole sales funnel. I mean, a lot of it we are going to share other people's stuff and that, but also we need to make sure that we have a good landing page or landing platform in this case, before we even talk about landing pages, of where people are going to wind up. So
yeah.
I put qrstuff.com is where I made and where ACCT made most of their QR codes for the conference. There are great things in there, and then that pin that I put in there, and I'm not sure, it's on a hidden board, so I'm not sure if that pin opens up for everybody, but the other site, let's see if I can open this link here and copy and paste this link in here. Is Share Link Generator was one that I just found for the course. Okay. All right. Yeah, you have to be part of that board. So I will put the two websites in. Okay. And paste. So what I found with the sharelinkgenerator.com, I need to open it in here, is they have some great ways that you can create a Facebook post, a Twitter post. You can even do LinkedIn, Google Plus, Pinterest, and this worked pretty well because there's an email section there too. So you can set everything up, and that would be another great one. Oh, here's a good one for a QR code. Do the email one, right? Make your company or whoever's at your office the recipient. Subject more information about your zip tour, and put that QR code like in the parking lot in off hours, right? So if you're only open 9 to 5 and you have, because again, in a lot of tourist areas, and I've been guilty of this too, where I'm on vacation and I swing by someplace and they're closed, well, that's the end of it. If there's a QR code on there, you could, email, and again, I always say, let people know under the QR code what it's for. Email us, email us for information or information about our park, and then they could email you straight away and say, and body could be, I just scanned this QR code, where you type all this in on this this ShareLink generator. I just I stopped by your park after hours and it was closed. Could you let me know what time you are open tomorrow, the rest of the week? And again, the end user can still edit that email before they send it off, but then you've done all the work for them, and then they just send it off to you, and you can have that conversation with them to send it back to them. So those are some ways, and again, we could do a whole blab where we can all think about it for about a week or two. We'll schedule the blab and have everybody bring their ideas. Those are just some that I have off the top of my head and some things that I've heard people do it. So,
Ed, you might have talked about this earlier, but do
sure.
you have the little cards that we made for ACCT?
I do not have
QR
any
codes on?
in my office. They are all upstairs in my fleece jacket pocket that I snagged at the end while I was walking out. But again, that's where something like Canva comes into play. I'm sure that, yeah, and I'm going to open it up. No, it's not there. I was thinking that maybe, because I know Mandy made those, and I was hoping that maybe she shared the design that I could post. Tell you what, I will, if I can find one of those designs, I'll tweet it out
Okay.
to everybody.
I mean, we can describe it pretty easily.
Yeah.
So all it was, I like what Ed said about making sure that you're telling them what the QR code is going to go to before they actually do it or use it. So the way we did it for ACCT was that we had a QR code on and this was like business card sized, and we had the QR code on one side of the business card, and then right next to it was a like the Facebook logo. And obviously that QR code is going to go to the ACCT Facebook page. We had one for Blab. We had one for Twitter, and I'm sure there were others. But just having the logo next to the QR code, it was so great. It was just easy to know what was happening as long as you knew what the logo meant. It took me a moment to figure out the Blab one just because I haven't seen the Blab logo as many times as everything else. But
Yeah.
it was a really great. It was just simple and aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. You know, and one of the things that the last comment I'm going to make on QR codes, and we'll see if there's any other topics people want to talk about today, is the question keeps on coming up over and over again whenever I mention QR codes is, oh, aren't those things dead? And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I'm so sorry. A QR code, if you go to those links, you'll be able to see pictures. Yeah, I'm looking around my desk right now for something that has a QR code on it. It's a think of a barcode, but instead of just the lines, it looks like a scrambled picture, almost like somebody's wearing that camouflage that is supposed to be pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so they're unique codes that you can create. And iPhones now, all iOS devices ship with a QR code scanner on them. We had one integrated into the ACCT app, and on top of it, Android, it's very easy to find one. They've got one called Android QR scan.
Oh, yeah.
That works great. So that's what we're talking about. But are they making a comeback? Well, here's what I found. At the conference, there was a lot of, they're going to exist where we use them. So they are making a bit of a comeback. I'd like to find out the full history of them. I started using them or trying to scan them maybe 7 years ago. I first saw them when I had, let's see, I can go back the number of smartphones. So 6 years ago, I had a BlackBerry, and I tried scanning, and it took forever. Hey, Guy, it took forever to be able to link to a site, to find or even find the app to be able to scan it, and it just wasn't practical, and they were out before their time. Now, people are going to use QR codes as long as we continue to put good content behind those QR codes. Because it is, hey Goose, it is great to be able to be out someplace and be able to be someplace and like being at a hotel and it says scan this QR code for a map of our hotel. Well, that is extremely useful rather than them putting even a bit.ly to say go to bit.ly/Hyatt, dash TX dash Austin dash or slash map slash event slash all this other stuff. You can just walk up, scan that QR code, it beeps at you, and then you have that content that they want to share with you. Yeah, and it's just like Blab is the way I look at it too. I know there's a lot of people that have been telling me they want to be here on Blab, they want to see how it works, but they're only watching on the website, which is fine. There is a technological hurdle that we need to get over with QR codes, right? And once you're over that hurdle, they're awesome. Just like I think Blab is a great platform. But at the same time, I do realize it's difficult to get here if you don't have the Twitter account and everything.
On that same note, another way that I've seen QR codes used, not just in parks, but also in like historic areas, where you can actually put a QR code on a historic marker and things like that so that people can go to that code and it'll bring up a website about whatever they're talking about, which is pretty awesome. I've actually seen it in an art installation here in Kansas City, and it's like built into the entire art piece. It's really cool.
Yep. So the one that gives me another idea with the QR codes is if you're thinking if whether or not QR codes could be right for your site, look for what Alexis was just talking about. Go around your community, wherever your zip line or your tour or your facility is, and see, do the local businesses have QR codes up? do they have some of these things that we're talking about? Because then again, one of the things is that you're part of a community. And this is another whole aspect that we haven't really explored in any of the other social media talks with Canopy tours and facilities and challenge courses, is that if, especially in a resort area, yeah, you can't see me. My internet connection's screwed up today, Goose. So you know what? If it looks like we're going to go more than 5 minutes, I'm going to refresh my browser and we're going to try this again. But I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be here. So, hey, Mandy, are you using QR codes at any of your courses? You can start with a yes or no. I'm starting with a closed-ended question. Okay, so since you said yes, you know what's coming next. Why don't you hop in a seat and tell us how you're using them?
So while she's coming on, I was just thinking that using them as a educational thing, using it as an educational thing, so that if you've got a historic thing at your park, or if you've got really great environmental education to be had at your park, then you could, in those key areas, put up QR codes that link to a web page on your website that has to do with whatever is going on there.
I didn't even look at where my screen is. So what QR codes?
QR codes at your course.
I'm going to refresh while you're mentioning it.
Okay, so what have you already talked about, just so I don't go crazy and repeat everything that was just said in the past, like, 15 minutes?
We mostly talked about having QR codes in, like, the rest areas, the hangout areas, especially on challenge courses, because a lot of times we don't want the participants to have their cell phones with them in the activity areas, but having those QR codes in those gathering areas instead. And then also other ways to utilize it for marketing and hashtags and things like that.
Nice.
Sending an email or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, jump in.
So one of my favorite things to do is, especially when I'm working with like a university group or an older group, that it's like, all right, we're not fifth graders. We should be allowed to have our cell phones. When I tell them, all right, you will be required to use your phones for this program, and I know that you've been in that situation before too, they're like, yes, this is amazing. So I've done full programs that are completely dependent on them using their phones and being able to interact with QR codes. So let's see. Cool. Yeah, entire like scavenger hunt adventure races where the whole thing is based off of QR codes. But they interact with each other. They interact with all sorts of different sites all over the internet too. And it's a really fun program to set up because you have almost no gear to schlep. If you set everything up online ahead of time, then you just go around, you put your QR codes where they need to be, and you're good. Although usually I'll do a lot. Yeah. So I have an entire website that I have that I use strictly for my scavenger hunt adventure races that I just tweak according to what might be different about the particular program that's running that day. So one of the things that I've done is to get them to the different places where they need to be in a program. They have a QR code that pops up a custom Google map with labels and areas that they need to be in, and they need to use their GPS to navigate to those different areas where the QR codes typically aren't like horribly hidden, but you can't, they're not right out there in the open. And then at each QR code, whichever version of the program I'm doing, there's something different for them to do. Other things that I've done is like made them find during one of these searches that they're doing, one of these legs of the program, they find a QR code that sends them to this custom Facebook page that's specifically for this event. And some of the tasks that they have to do include taking specific group photos and pasting them to, or posting them to Facebook with tags. Cool. Yeah. So you get a whole lot more mileage out of that too, because then you have them not only taking the pictures for you, but posting them and tagging them for you too, which is nice.
Oh, shucks.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you could do that through Instagram too, with using hashtags.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys can you guys hear me at all? My screen is totally frozen. Okay.
Yeah, but you look cool and
that,
intense like this.
as long as I freeze in a good position.
Yeah. I'm still here. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I'm frozen. It's cold up here up north, okay? I'm frozen. So I'm going to throw this up in the, we were talking about this in the experiential lab, so I'm going to throw it up there as a, I'm going to finally bit.ly this so I remember what it is. For more the program side of thing, there's QR Zoom. But I know we're focusing more on marketing for our course. With that in mind, there was something that you just said, Mandy, that I wanted to add to, and my brain is obviously frozen because I can't remember what it was.
Well,
because
posting,
your screen's
posting to the Facebook and tagging and stuff, because that's where that crossover between the program and the marketing comes in. Because then if I've got 60, 80, whatever university students running around doing stupid stuff, taking pictures of it, obviously having fun, tagging themselves, their friends are going to want to know, what were you doing?
Yeah.
So
that's one of the things I was going to mention is that I've gotten a couple questions since the conference on, and since we did the ACCT Zola lab on Instagram. And one of the things that I cannot find is QR codes to post to Instagram. There's a lot of information on how to change your profile picture to a QR code. You can even do a QR code to follow me on Instagram. Like if you scan this, it'll open up my Instagram profile. But there are I cannot find a QR scan to post to Instagram. And what I'm wondering if that's intentional on Instagram's part, that they're not sharing the API, the background code, making that public in order to connect with it for whatever reason. I can't imagine. Oh, great. Was I frozen or intense when you told a little bird? All right.
I think you were moving.
Okay. So we've gotten on a good discussion with QR codes. Are there? What I really want to do though is I want to get back to, and I hope I answered the question earlier of how to start on a Pinterest account. So are there other topics people would like to see if we make this, like, let's say an other week blab on social media marketing for challenge courses and Zipline Canopy Tour industry? What are other topics people would like to see us talk about? Running contests. I know somebody really good at that.
Yeah, Mandy.
Yeah, now you're getting into the whole like spam props there. That was almost a spam props level.
I'm not going to mention it because I don't want anybody doing it, but there's a glitch and a hack to prop bomb somebody in the lab now. And once you turn it on, there's a big thing going, how do you turn it off? So we're not going to talk about that right now. Anyways, so running.
Yeah, social media contests are a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people, I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, that there's a way to run it to where it actually benefits you in your marketing in the long term, and then there's the way where you're just going to get a whole bunch of junk followers, essentially, which will ultimately not necessarily do a whole lot for you. So I think that's a good conversation to have.
Yeah. Then the first question to start asking yourself is, what is the intent of the contest? Is the contest to market your product? Is it to engage with your community? Or is it to get a whole bunch of people following you? And again, we all know how I feel about blind followers. All right. Managing all your platforms. Yes, we can do Hootsuite.
Yes.
Yeah. Right before the conference, I was starting to think, are we really getting a lot of value for Hootsuite on the ACCT side? And the answer is yes. And there's some even better tricks. I think maybe we should do the Hootsuite one next and have everybody come in, because one of the things that I'm finding is I've got a couple things I use Hootsuite for really well, but there are other things that I'm sure other people could open our eyes to on that platform. Periscope.
Yeah. And there are some things about Hootsuite that are just a pain, and I wish it was better. So to know about those before you commit to it, to during that trial run, and to play and see if those things still work for you are good to know too. That'd be a good topic.
Yeah. Periscope. So yeah, I just after the conference I was finally able to check everything, and there is a Periscope float. If you follow me on Twitter, you can rewatch the entire social media what presentation. There's a link in Twitter. Also, if you go to my website and go to the write-up session, I'll put that link in there. There's a link to the replay of it. Don't know how long it's going to stay, and actually I'm going to edit that down and probably combine it with my Prezi presentation, the audio, because it's pretty boring to watch if you weren't there, because there's a camera just kind of back a little bit, screen is up. But again, I'm learning how we repurpose Periscope. I did a couple Periscopes last night, just experimenting with the platform to try and understand it better myself. So yeah, I'd love for us to dive in and talk more about Periscope. And also, I think that one of the things, whether you're watching live right now or you're watching the replay, is that the intent of this blab is to first and foremost go with, as somebody called it in the session, the Neanderthals. And I loved how he said that, right? At the end, you can watch the Periscope, and he just says, how many people in the room are Neanderthals when it comes to social media marketing? And I think that there are a lot of great resources out there. Heck, even on Blab, I'll throw, if you follow me, and the way you do that is click on any one of our pictures up above our name or up in the top or wherever we are, and you can click follow and go to followers. Most of the people I follow.
You're opposite Alexis.
Oh, darn.
There you go.
That's awesome. Most of the people I follow, yeah, but then on the replay it was all around, so we're pointing on the wrong side. So high fives this way, just in case for over on my right side. So just
go like this, up top, right? Up top.
Yeah.
We need to just go with the.
It's right. I'm going to have Frank come on and do the arrow activity. Anyways, but I want to make sure that we're starting the conversations every time with the basics, and I want people to hold me accountable for it. So just like we were doing here, we started talking about QR codes and answering questions. Well, do we need?
We didn't answer. What is a QR code?
What is a QR code? We should always be starting off with the what is this platform? Why should we be using it? And then going from there. So even the first thing with Hootsuite, I think that the first part of that conversation should be, and I'll try and get my screen share program working to show, here is how you sign up for a Hootsuite account. And again, maybe what we try and do is the first 15 minutes of the blab are purely signing up for that service, and then everybody that's already signed up for the service can jump on, 15 minutes in. And that way we can go over just some of the basics, connecting at least like one profile. How much is Hootsuite? Hootsuite is a freeware. I don't know if I'm using that term quite right. I tend to call anything that allows you to use it for free and then wants you to buy the service for all the bells and whistles. So I was using Hootsuite free for years when all I was doing was managing ESIs. You can then have 3 account feeds in it. So basically Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, let's say, or Facebook, Twitter, and then a Facebook group that you can do for free. Or
then
even you can pay to get unlimited services with it. I'll see how much it costs while you're talking, Mandy.
Yeah, I was going to say there are the different levels allow the different levels of purchase allow different levels of interaction amongst people too. So say like if Ed and I are collaborating on social media, which never happens, and we want to be able to have shared access to these projects essentially in these different accounts, if we want to be able to do that, we're going to want that higher level account within Hootsuite to make life a lot easier. But if you just want to get in and play with it, you can go in, sign up, connect even just your personal accounts. It does not have to be a business account. Just put your own social media on there and play with it and see what happens. Get a good sense.
Yeah. So why don't we do that? Let's make our next blab about Hootsuite.
I like
it. I like it too. One of the things that I want to make sure is that we're on the same page is that we can talk about how to use Hootsuite, but I'm concerned that there's people coming to the Blab that still are trying to look on how to set up a Facebook account, how to set. You know what, though, Mandy? I'm going to go back to what you just said.
You cannot
is
be
that
all things to all people all the time, and that's why we have topics.
So here's the deal: is that Hootsuite will work as long as, and you can be part of that conversation. We can start exploring it, even if you only have a personal Facebook account, a personal Twitter account. As long as you have one of those personal accounts, we can have a conversation about Twitter or Hootsuite. I got Twitter on the mind.
I knew what you meant. It's fine.
Yeah, and Goose, I'm still trying to get here to the. And in case I can't get it, I'm going to the Hootsuite.com site, and I'm going to plans. And so, so a pro account is $10 a month, and you get a 30-day free trial with that. That gives you 10 social profiles, 1 enhanced analytics report, bulk message scheduling, another team member, and access to premium apps. What the heck does all that mean? That's what we'll cover in the next Blab. So I think that we're going to, oh, cool. You found it as I was looking at the other screen.
Within that, too, is usually you have 30 days to use all the Hootsuite University materials where you can go in and do all the online tutorials, which normally that's sort of a carrot for the people that buy the accounts, too, because if you don't get it within that 30-day window, you do have to pay for access to most of those, unless you know somebody who has copies of their own.
I don't know what she's talking about. So the other thing I'll say with Hootsuite, in case people are looking into it before the next Blab, let's schedule that Blab in the next. I'll check my schedule. I'd love to do it next week. You guys are here and recommending it, so maybe Wednesday at the same bat time, same bat place. We'll do it again, and don't pay for anything before we talk about it. Sign up for the free account. Everything we're talking about, we can either do in the free account or show you some of the things that are paid for, so you can say whether or not it's worth it. Because what I would say is even play with the free account, and then if you're thinking about the pro account, don't even go down that road for the free trial until you know the basics first, so that you can maximize. And also, one last thing with it is I wouldn't even recommend the pro or business account unless you're doing like Mandy's doing, which is managing multiple accounts and multiple online profiles. So, all right, good topics. Any other topics? I'm going to look through here. So we got Periscope, we got Hootsuite. Hootsuite we're going to do next. We're going to do Pinterest, how to set, just the basics 101 on Pinterest, how to set it up.
Pinterest is so much fun.
Business. Oh God,
it's you can play Pinterest all day.
Right.
Well, assuming we have time to play and these things all day, but like if the time was there, so great.
This is the most dangerous tool with Pinterest. When I moved from the computer to be able to do this, somebody asked at my session, how much research do I do for social media marketing? When I'm into it, I do about an hour at night because I don't read. I'll sit there and you can just do this from pin to pin to pin, pin to pin, and all of a sudden 4 hours goes by. It's very dangerous, and no, it's not just for wedding dresses and paleo recipes.
Nope.
There you go.
See, there's Goose. Right on cue, Goose. Well done.
Hey,
Snapchat.
One of my pin boards got posted for ACCT, so there you go.
Yeah, it was an awesome resource. I also wanted to throw this up there because we were talking about it earlier, and maybe that's going to be an experiential ed blab. But for those of you that are in the experiential education challenge course resources, and you want to have an excuse for them to have their cell phones to QR code and do stuff with the cell phones, this is an awesome resource. So I will have to put that up on my handouts page or something like that, a link to their oh, you know what? I'll do this.
How do you take a topic from the web and pin it? Well, just to answer that really quick question, a lot of places on the web will automatically have a Pinterest button that you can click, and you can log into your account, put it on your particular board or whatever, and then on your phone, let me see. Usually if you, on an Apple device, on the bottom menu, if you're in Safari and you hit the little square with the up arrow, that'll let you bookmark and do all sorts of things. Ta-da! You can swipe this bar across, and there's the Pinterest. Whoops, I hit the wrong one. Bail out. Hit Pinterest, and then you can go through and add it to whatever you have. So they've made it really super easy. Something that does not have a button, you could always copy a hyperlink and then paste it into a board.
Nice use of the Q/. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to double check this is the correct before I hit enter. So one of the places I try and put all of our try and put all of our links we talk about in the chat, and then Blab is a little wonky on the replay chat right now. So if you don't see the chat where it's supposed to be, I'm going to guess over there on the replay. If you're watching this on Blab, could be over there though. Then if you go over to my website, and so that's what I'm going to do here, experientialed.com, and you click on, there's a button at the top that say blogs and blabs, where all these replays are. These comments are embedded into a blog post, so you see them there. And then the other thing is there's a button on top that says write-ups. So I'm just going to make sure that I have the right link for that. And here's the great thing about that is you can see all the conferences I've pretty much presented at the past 6 months. That's where all of my presentations live online. So if you can't make it to one of the conferences I'm presenting at, and also that's where my research project from years ago lives. What are some of the other slashes? Go ahead, play with them. Hit slash, and then if you just, so I hit the slash by the question mark, and I hit table flip, and I hit return. Yep, so you just shrugged at me, Matthew. I'm gonna hit, and I just flipped the table. You gotta squint.
Oh my! Oh my! Well, who knew?
Does this one
Blab's just getting silly.
I want to see if this still works. No, it's not doing it. So in the winter, you could do /snow, and it would start snowing in the Blab. All right, so we're going to start wrapping it up here. It was over the holidays. It was up until like January 1st.
Well, from what I hear about the snow levels in the Midwest and the Ontario region, no, it's kind of not winter. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was more snow on Blab than there was in Chicago, I think.
For sure.
Have not had that much.
We've had some snow here, so.
Ooh, 40 and rainy. Yeah.
40 and rainy.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So we're doing the Bizarro Blab because usually we all talk about our crummy or horrible weather at the beginning of the Blab instead of at the end of it. I'm looking outside to try and figure out what it is. We had thunderstorms here last night, yesterday afternoon, thunder and lightning in Chicago in February. It's just wrong. I want snow. I should be complaining about the snow not going away yet. Upstate New York, 53 and rainy, but snowing this weekend. Yeah, we'll see.
I've got 46 and rain today, and I'm debating. I was like, is it better to go for a run or is it better to go for a bike? Poll the audience.
I think it's like 30-something here in Kansas City. You guys are, 32.
All right, so I don't have to edit all the weather comments off of my off the replay of the Blab. Stop the recording, but as those of you that have known, don't leave just when I say the formal goodbye here. I'm just going to stop the recording here. So,
hey, don't we need to get our?
Yeah. All right,
what mug
everybody
do you have
hit
today, Alexis?
It's my super cool Petzl one.
Nice. I didn't get my
squishy
Petzl
mug from Petzl.
That's very good.
Everybody tweet this. We got to tweet the number one requirement for me and Blab is drinking lots of coffee while blabbing. It keeps the Blab going. Everybody tweet and tell a little bird right now. Hit that tweet button so everybody can see. Okay.
Okay, ready?
What do you got? You got. Oh,
I'm still only dating superheroes. So
it is an animated.
Still
animated GIFs on there. That was my microphone speaking. All right. So on that note, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm going to stop the recording here. Make sure to subscribe to me, just click Ed Kaplan right there and follow me on Blab. You can see the replays that we've already done here on Blab. And we'll try and get this set up for next week at this time, and make sure to tweet, Facebook, Blab out that link to everyone. So thanks, Mandy. Thanks, Alexis, for jumping into the hot seat. Thanks for our super invisible guest, William Johnson, for trying to jump on, and we will see you guys next week.
All right.
Resuming recording for just so, hey, we're back for one thing.
What?
Because I want to do this in a public setting as much as possible. I want to congratulate the chair of the PR Marketing Committee from ACCT for winning an awesome award. Okay.
Alexis, I need you to
give her props. Everybody give her props right now for winning that award. And I'm dead serious. What is the name of the award that you won?
Hold on.
This is a picture of it on our Facebook.
I was trying to zoom in.
ACCT 2016 Community Award.
The
wedgie. Oh, there's that.
Nice. And then see, I'm tweeting that right now. Okay.
And
there you go.
my 15-year-old was especially impressed at how sharp it was. He thought that was its best feature.
Ooh.
Well, I think there's a metaphor.
That's because
there,
you're
right?
sharp.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mandy, you now need a shelf in your background.
Yes.
Instead of the window.
You
just need like your award shelf.
I don't put my awards. The only reason that's out is because it hasn't been put away yet. I don't know. I should put it on a shelf. I need to get better about doing that sort of stuff.